I gotta stop home real quick. We about to go live. Give me a second. Published. Alright.
Like my slime, bro. You gonna wait for me to get back home before you leave out? What time was you gonna leave out?
Check.
It's 7:30 now. About 9. Yeah, so check with mommy for me, man, and see if Pop needs to get up and use the bathroom, because I don't want her doing that, trying to do that stuff on her own. So try to get him up to use the bathroom, whatever, first, you know what I mean, before you leave out. So, yeah, please, man, so you can help her with him with that, man. Yeah, mommy said that, man. But I'm gonna do it, but I'm doing it with different. I'm asking just because that's what he wants me to do. But I'm moving him when he needs to be moved.
Good morning, everyone out there in the world, in the universe. This is Moving Target Radio, Saturday mornings. We are live every Saturday morning, by the way. Live every Saturday morning on the radio. A little bit more filtered, to be real with you. You know what I mean? A lot more filtered. We don't really go too deep. But I will say this. There's going to be way more conversation, way more things to talk about on the Moving Target B-Side podcast. We bringing that back. We're not just going to do these hour Saturday mornings anymore. You know, we're going to be doing the Moving Target B-Side podcast. So you will have our Saturday mornings, and then every other week we're going to be doing Sunday live, which is also going to go out on major podcast platforms. Tuesday live, and we're doing a Thursday live. So we're going to be live every other week. It's going to be dope, man. We're going to talk about a lot. We got a lot of guests coming in, you know. It's going to be a nice little setup. So I'm excited about it because I've been really feeling restricted just doing these live Saturday mornings. I think even if some of you wanted to compare it to things that we've done from before, you know, things that we've done that as far as before we came to the radio station here, we had some live shows, and we went a little bit more raw with it. You know, we had cussing and stuff, but I've been feeling restricted, y'all, to be real with you. There's a lot of shit I want to talk about, and all the things that's going on in the world today. I'm like, man, 45 minutes on air, on FM, it's just not enough. So we're going to be doing these every Saturday morning, but we're also going to be Moving Target B-Side podcast. You know what I'm saying? Your boy Jay Kemp will be there every other week, giving you 3 long live shows, a lot of content, a lot more information, talking about a lot more things. You know, just opinions I have too. I'm going to be doing opinion pieces. I did if some of y'all have not checked already, I did an opinion piece on, you know, the dangers of how sensitive this country is becoming, you know, and the way that they're trying to emasculate men, period. I know people say emasculate black men, but I disagree, man. I think that's always an agenda, but I think, period, men, period, do not express yourself. Don't express your masculinity. If you are a beta, shout out to Jesse Lee Peterson. Beta. But if you are a beta, you could express whatever the fuck you want to express. But if you are an alpha male, you better watch yourself.
What does beta exactly mean?
Just some soft ass niggas, moist ass niggas. but the thing is that beta, you know, masculinity can only be expressed by women. Like for it to be considered okay.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And don't trust nobody. Anybody, you know, if you shake anybody's hand and their hands is moist, don't trust them.
Yeah, I don't fuck with moist hands, moist palms.
Don't trust them, yo.
I don't fuck with moist palms, man. But then again, that could indicate other things, man. That could indicate them being nervous. But if they're nervous, it might not necessarily mean because they got something to hide. It could just mean other things.
I'm just saying don't trust them.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I'm not gonna immediately, you know, want to do a deal with you. You know what I'm saying? But if we already made the deal and we then shook on it and it was moist, I'm watching every penny.
I'm watching everything.
I'm watching everything. Like, yo, man, I was good until I shook this nigga head, man. And then this nigga ass.
Yeah, man. Good morning, beautiful people.
Yeah,
good morning,
man.
Good morning. Good morning.
What's going on with you, brother?
Everything's everything, man. Trying to stay focused. Not even trying to stay focused, man, but striving, you know, staying focused, man, and keep pressing on.
What are you doing? What are you doing to stay focused?
It's what must be done.
What are you doing to stay focused?
I'm doing some meditation, man. I'm doing some praying and some meditation.
Word.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
You know, breathing. I was talking to one of the queens. Shout out to Queen Sabrina. Love you, sis. But yeah, talking to her one time, and yo, it's things that you know, but sometimes when you hear people say it to you, it just keeps you in that conscious way of thinking about it, you know. One time, you know, me and her was talking, especially, you know, with the present situation that, you know, that I found myself in, man. And, you know, she was like, Ram, breathe, man, intentionally.
Right.
Intentionally, yo. Breathe consciously, breathe intentionally. You know what I mean? That's something that I know. That's something that I've done years ago. Peace, man. How you, man?
But is it breathe? See, and that's the thing, man. What's good, bro? That's the thing about with the breathing, man. With meditation, with just optimizing life, it's that, you know, there's so many different components that go into it. You know what I'm saying? I think what starts to drive people off is that sometimes we do try to breathe intentionally, and that actually fucks it up. Yeah. Whereas if we're talking about a resting of the mind and the brain and the body, because that's what meditation's for. Right. It's to rest the mind, rest the brain, so you're open to true insight.
Right.
So the only intention should just be, I'm just going to be.
So, I mean,
and that's it.
Just in the sense of, you know, so for meditation purposes, you know, I understand that. But even for somebody that, let's say, doesn't meditate, sometimes if that person would just stop and breathe intentionally, because when you...
So I think you need to break, because when I hear intent, because I'm specifically talking about people who don't meditate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm very big on guiding people in how to properly meditate without having any experience in it, because there's so many misconceptions of it. So many, you know what I'm saying? So you got to break down intention. That's a huge word that you're using, and then some people listening might be like, "Oh, well, I'm intentional when I sit down, like I get my space clear and
right." Nah, so just consciously noticing that you're breathing and being able to take a deep breath and let it out slow, it just kind of stops you in your tracks, because you're not, when you breathe like as I'm saying.
So focusing on your breath.
Yeah. Focusing.
So that's a different from intention.
Right.
Because intention is more like what your intention is behind everything you're doing at that moment. You know what I'm saying? What the intention is.
Right, but focusing, so that's what I mean.
So focus on regulating your breath. Absolutely.
Man, focus on that, and it makes you stop in that function. It does. It makes you stop.
It's a good Band-Aid. It's a good like it's almost like if you're running and you just need a drink of water real quick.
Right.
The problem is we don't get past that part.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah.
Many of us don't get past that part.
Yeah.
And it's the putting things in action part that is the place that a lot of people like. That's that work right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, for the sake of, you know, for a lot of people, you got to start somewhere. You know what I mean? You got to start somewhere. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
And not saying that that's the necessary starting point. It may be, but I'm just saying you got to start somewhere. So just, you know, at that moment of me dealing with what I was dealing with, just hearing that and then like literally doing that, it was just good for me at that moment. You know what I mean? I mean, of course, other things got to be done, and you know.
But I'm only mentioning that. I know that you got to start somewhere, but I'm only mentioning that because the start somewhere is the action part too.
Yeah.
So like when I tell people is, if you're trying to really change your habits, that's what it comes down to. It's like nothing can succeed without systems being changed. Nothing. So if you're trying to like develop new habits, change old habits, you know what I'm saying, and relieve stress, there's various components to it all.
Hold on. We got Queen Mother Barbara Fair calling real quick. She's on her way down to the show. Yes, ma'am. She's outside the down. Oh, she's outside the door. Please, young King Spence. Yes, ma'am. Upstairs in the hallway? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Queen Mother Fair's coming on in. Yes, ma'am. All right.
So for that, and I think what when we talk about a starting point, I don't like to say, because what happens is a lot of people, when I do either life coaching with teens.
We got Sincere calling. Yo.
Okay.
Peace, good brother. Yeah, it's the Olympia building, right? 142.
Peace, Mother Fair. What's going on? We live right now,
floor,
actually.
good brother.
Oh, you could you got a seat right here. Yeah. Spend some shit right
Yes,
there.
sir. All right. Peace.
I thought the show started
Yo.
at 8.
No, it does, but we go live on YouTube.
Oh.
We live on YouTube right now. We got another brother coming in. He coming upstairs right now. Come on now, please. Yes, sir.
So the various components of when it comes to being able to, you don't need your headphones yet. Yeah, we're just live on YouTube. So when it comes to the various components to rebuilding self, we tend to look at like, all right, well, I'm gonna start with this. And what happens is usually, you know what I'm saying, when I tell people, okay, start with breathing, you know what I mean? It's like, and start with, I tell them, start with 2 minutes out the day. If you don't do it at all, just start with 2 minutes. Don't think about what you're thinking about. Don't try to do none of that. Don't, I gotta just blank my mind out. Oh man, get aggravated about, I'm getting distracted. Don't even worry about that. Look at what you're thinking about and be like, all right, I'm thinking about that now. Okay, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? On to the next. Do that for 2 minutes. Start with that, right? But what happened was a lot of people would start with that, feel good, and feel like this is starting to be consistent. Like I did 2 minutes a day. And now they almost take that victory and they're like, all right, you know, now they're focusing on that one part. How do I make that 5 minutes, 10 minutes? And that's great.
Right.
Meanwhile, we're losing time each day on the other parts of your life that you got to put 2 minutes to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the starting point is all the various components broke down into very small fragments. So breathing 2 minutes in the day, 2 push-ups, 1 bottle of water, 2 things on my checklist I got to do today. Boom. Then you can start right there. You know what I'm saying? And do that, because now if that becomes a habit, now it's like, okay, now I want 5 minutes of breathing. Yes, my bottle of water, but I want 5 push-ups, and I'm going to put 5 things on my checklist that I'm going to do today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's really good when you want to say start somewhere, but start in those various components in small doses.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that's the, like, when I think of Rick Rubin, I heard a story of Rick Rubin having songwriters that would come in. Peace. Oh, okay, yes, I know this brother. Yes, I didn't know who you were by face yet. You know, now I see you, I'm like, okay. There's a lot of, so Rick Rubin works with a lot of artists. Peace, bro. How you, man? He works with a lot of artists, and when artists would have writer's block, he would say, okay, I want you to write 1 word. just write one word. You know what I'm saying? Go think about that word, write it, and come back. You know what I'm saying? And literally, he would have them write another word that just sticks out to them. And eventually, not too long after that, they start getting into the rhythm and they start really writing again. You know what I mean? It's the same with writers, period. Like, even if you ain't wrote in a minute, the first verse you write or the first chapter you write is going to suck. But you got to start somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So let it suck. But get your body and your mind acclimated to that rhythm. You feel me? So, yeah, man, the self-building and the rebuilding of, like, your mind and your habits, it's got to start in all the areas of your life. It's got to start there on a small, very small level, and then just become consistent. You know what I mean?
I mean, I definitely hear you. I also believe that people are so very different, man. Like, people are, as many people that's in this world, each people are individuals on their own, and I just feel like sometimes it may be some people that just might need to just start with just breathing.
The reason why I say that's not is but people are still human.
Right.
And when it comes to the human body, when it comes to the human mind, you know what I'm saying? We can easily, those areas that I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? Those areas can't even be compromised for no human being, for anybody's development. If you look at somebody in the city, right, that's like in need, right, with when it comes to human services, right, we provide wraparound services. Right? We provide, like, when we work with people that need help, we don't start them with like just one and then we gonna bring you to this one. Nah, like, we do wraparound. So we gotta hit you here, we gotta hit you here, we gotta hit you here.
I think that depends on the individual, though. I think that really depends on the individual and what's that individual circumstances are. I think it will be good sometimes it will be good, you know, for us to be able to hit them in all these different areas. But even, you know, for myself, you know, dealing with a lot of the young people in the community, sometimes it was just, I seen through this person's actions, through how their mind was set up and everything like that it was one specific thing. I say, let me just stay consistent on this one specific thing right now.
You do that.
And don't,
absolutely,
you know, let them focus on that one thing.
For you do that, but at the same time, what you didn't probably see was that there was all these other areas that were equally have a drought. And so what happens is, but hear me out. So what happens is now somebody else, what you're doing is helping this, but then somebody else comes along and says, yo, well, I see this and I got this for you.
Right.
Now it's like, oh, okay, so I could go see Rem and get this, and then I could go see Mother Fair, and we build on this.
No, but honestly, I did see and notice, you know, the other areas that were in drought, though. I'm just saying, you know, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but to me, it's individual specific. You know what I mean?
It is subjective.
Sometimes it's just like, sometimes with people, it's just those one things that you might have to just put in place first. Times you can't even get to none of these other areas if you can't just get that person sometimes to just sit down and breathe.
But Rem, what I'm saying is, what I'm saying that is not, what's not individual is that nobody opposes starting small. And so when you say first breathe, right? When you say first breathe, I can promise you though, after breathing, any human being is like, what now? You know what I'm saying? I'm back to my shit. And so you want to be able to, it doesn't matter who the individual is, you want to be able to give them something very small. Now, what is individual is the size. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody don't really breathe like that, I'm not going to expect you to sit there for 5 minutes and breathe. You know what I'm saying? Especially in silence. That's hard. That's why I like hip hop mindfulness, because taking a hip hop beat, giving it to a kid who doesn't breathe, doesn't meditate, none of that, and saying, yo, just follow the beat. Just bob your head to the beat. That's all you got to do. You know what I'm saying? And breathe during that. And all of a sudden, dun, 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 and all of a sudden they start to zone out a little bit. That's cool. And so that little small dose, but then there has to be the action steps that have to be provided for any individual to begin traction, to be able to say, okay, now start small here. The problem is we are so genius that we easily fool ourselves to say, Nah, I'm just good here because it's the comfortability. So if you are comfortable in starting here with this one, it's already set, with this 1 to 2 minutes of breathing, you know what I'm saying? Then I haven't given you the means to be pushed into challenges. I haven't given you that yet. So now, what's the challenge? Well, right now, man, breathing is good for me, but this like action step thing, now I have to say to you, I need you to write one action step then. Yo, man, breathing is, I need you to do one action step, bro. Because the thing is, I need to help you become habitual with leaning into uncomfortability. Yeah. That's the reason why I think us being so fucking sensitive is messing us up, because we don't know how to deal with conflict. Because we so damn sensitive, we want to avoid everybody saying something, so when it comes to exercising us dialoguing if we disagree, we can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Because we so damn sensitive and we avoid that. It's the same if people are trying to rebuild their life, trying to get things together. I'm like, yo, just start extremely small in various areas.
So what do y'all think about? What do y'all think about my boy, a friend of mine, white dude, put on Facebook. He had the black people from Living Single, and put the Popeyes up, and the white.
This is a meme.
Yeah, and the white kid from Friends, and then he put up Chick-fil-A. You know what I mean? And,
that's hilarious.
And some people were, you know what I mean?
They're
like
upset.
Some people were offended by it, racist. But that was my comment too. I was like, yo, I said, yo, people are so sensitive today. The only thing I could say, is I'm not offended by it. You know what I mean? I'm not offended by it. I said, plus maybe it's because I know you,
right?
And I know you don't have. There's no.
Okay,
you never,
that could be. But,
you know what I'm saying?
But even if you didn't, you wouldn't laugh at that.
Even if I didn't, I would.
I'd laugh.
Maybe you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But because I don't take that as. You know what I'm saying? You're going to find more black people like Popeyes than Chick-fil-A.
And at the same time, are we really surprised if we do find people posting racist things or, like, I'm not.
In America?
Come on, man.
My thing is, I can't front. I would laugh, but I will also have a hidden in my mind, like, is there something up with this person? And then I will give them the benefit of doubt to just differentiate themselves. But other than that, I would think it's funny at first, but then I would look at it like, is there a deeper meaning behind this on why you doing it? But it might not be that. It might just be you just thought it was funny. But I just go deeper sometimes than I need to.
Yeah. I think everybody does.
Yeah. My man's father was off the chain. My man Chad.
Oh, this is Chad.
Chad's father.
Okay.
Chad's white.
Yeah, by the way.
Before Chad Pops passed away, God have mercy on him, be pleased with him. Before he passed, his father was off the hook. And we used to come in the house.
You mean like off the hook like he was racist?
Yes, man.
Oh,
and openly Chad used to just look at me like, yo, these are my friends. And his father be sitting there like,
what was he?
Love Mr. Burton. Yo, man.
You loved him. What was he?
Yeah, Mr. Burton. He was white.
And so what? You loved him. He was like, "Hey, nigga." You were like,
"Yo." No. He never came out like that. He never came out like that. He was just under his breath, man. But it was funny to me, to really see somebody be up close to somebody's disposition was like that. Then you never really understood what he's saying, but it was funny to us because I know what you're saying though. You mumbling it, and then seeing Chad get frustrated, and Chad took more of his mom's, love his mother too. He took more of his mom's. His mom was like, nah, yo, come on.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Just let Mr. Burton be Mr. Burton.
I couldn't do it, man. I moved to my parents moved me to the suburbs, to Milford, and man, I had problems, man. We all did. My oldest sister didn't. I don't know why. Like she just got along with all the white people. Like they just loved her. You know what I mean? She was going to foreign high school, you know what I'm saying? And I was at considered the white trash spot, Jonathan Law High School, and man, they loved her. And for me, man, they tried to light my hair on fire. They tried to like I got jumped. We had a whole I remember having a whole race war, man. It was like literally, it was like dudes from Bridgeport and a few that were in Milford from Bridgeport against the white dudes that were there in Milford. There's actually a dude right now where I'm friends with on Facebook, Sam Cohen. His father was a Grand Wizard of the KKK. Or is that what it's called? Grand Wizard? Yeah. We got one night, man, we got coked up, drunk, out there on the court, going at it with one another about
race, about everything.
Yeah.
This dude's sober now. He's sober, like a really good dude right now. You know what I'm saying? But
The Grand Wizard or the Son?
the son.
Right.
But the thing that I mean, he was terrible. All of them were. Like, yo, it was just a really bad situation. But I'm like, yo, what we did as kids, grown people could never do that today.
No, man.
They can't do that. We sat there face to face and battled it out on race or like, and didn't agree on
Yo,
shit.
I got kicked out of Hampton High behind that, yo. White teacher told me, the typing teacher told me to, we in class talk. I'm the only black kid in class. Back then, it was like a handful of us in Hampton High. We talking, he want to point me out and tell me, why don't you go back where you came from?
Oh, shit.
My whole chair just went, like I shrunk in the chair. Then the giant came out. I didn't know what to do. I got up, walked to the front of the class, and slapped the taste out of his mouth, yo. Mom Dukes was like, when she, are you kidding me? You can't control yourself. Yo, man, I got kicked out of here now behind
That was warranted.
behind them race fights, yo. Behind them race fights.
But it's that deep though. It's like
It is,
it
yeah.
ain't. And some people play with it, but it's like this is a life or death matter, regardless to what people talk about. You feel me? Anywhere you could go is different degrees and different levels in any city and state you go to. But at the end of the day, the mindset is the same. So it's like you either gonna deal with an openly blunt racist person, or you gonna deal with somebody that's trying to sugarcoat it and act like they rock with you. But you know,
I fuck with those openly.
I like the openly racist people because I know where you stand.
I know where you are.
Yeah.
Everybody's
And maybe
against
that's the
Trump.
reason why.
I prefer having people like Trump
I
because
know.
I want to know
Where
that the
you
knife
at?
is in my back.
Absolutely.
I don't want you
Right.
being subtle and smiling and
Right,
grinning
right,
and bumping
right.
me
Feeding me
and twisting
poison.
twisting that knife.
Poison.
At least I know
Yes,
that.
I respect people like that.
At least I know that, like, if Trump does, even though Trump did more for black people than Obama, just policy wise, I still know you a racist though.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
You know what I mean?
That's all
I know.
politics.
I know why you doing it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
All right, we about to go live. 94.3 WYBC, the rhythm of the city and home of the Juan Castillo Morning Show. Good morning, New Haven. This is Jay Kemp, and this is Moving Target Radio. And with me is my co-host, Remedy Sharif.
Peace. Good morning. Super Saturday.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
And of course, we got King Spencer in the building. What's good, bro?
What's going on, New Haven?
So yeah, man, we got it is Super Saturday. It's a
Yes,
beautiful
it is.
Saturday. A lot of great things going on. Right now, if you want to go to the Kings and Queens of Royalty LLC, they present Community Youth Book Bag Drive. All right, school's about to start. All right, the date is today from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Gulf Street Park. That is the Community Youth Book Bag Drive. So if you need some book bags, they got them out there. All right, that's brought to you by Kings and Queens of Royalty LLC.
So when we say get to that bag, when we talking about get
That's
to
the
that
bag
bag,
we talking about.
that's the bag we talking about
Get
right
to a
now.
school bag. The kid's gonna be like, look, I don't need no school bag, bro.
I need that
I need
other
that
bag.
bag.
I need that bag.
Get you that bag.
Yo, man, it's cold. Like summer's over, bruh. This morning it was cold.
Yeah, I think it's going, I think it's gonna be longer. I think it's gonna definitely stretch into the whole September. We ain't even hit September yet, but I think it's gonna be warm for the whole September.
I hope so, man.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be 80.
Nah.
Not this
I
80
think
that we've been.
I think so. It's gonna
AC
be
is
at
out.
least it's gonna be up in the 80s.
I don't
so.
want it to be in the 80s, man. It's
Yeah.
been beaming all summer.
I know.
It's the humidity.
Wait,
Yeah.
you don't want it to be in the 80s?
No.
You want it to be lower?
Yes, 60.
Wow.
Oh.
60s?
60 to 70s. It's
Like
perfect.
that
It's
weather
out.
weather.
Nah, I'm good, brother.
That's some of that. You know that's that.
Give me that 80
It's
degrees.
that, you know.
80 degrees.
Yo,
No,
it was
Like
torture.
when we say that's that mayonnaise. That's that mayonnaise fill.
60 degrees.
60 degrees.
That's that miracle whip.
That's that
not
miracle.
even-
I
Oh,
need to be in the
man.
mountains. He want to be in the Caucasus Mountains.
Chill out, man.
60
This
is good for
crazy.
nighttime sleeping. That's it.
Yeah,
Man, yes,
exactly.
it is.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
it
I
is.
should put a call, mayonnaise or Miracle Whip, 203-562-9430. Call us up.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man, a lot is going on, and I want to get to what we're going to talk about today. We have a couple guests in the building to discuss some serious things going on in the community. Before we do that, Rem, I know we talked about having like a segment, that's going to go on, and we need theme music, bro. We need applause. We need theme music.
We need to get it right.
We need to get it right. But,
Yeah.
but what we're going to do is on Saturday mornings, we're going to have just a quick little 10-15-minute update. Because, we're on Saturday. The week is going by. We got to
Right.
talk about what went on.
Right.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm
for
saying?
sure. For
And
sure.
if you want to get more content on the Moving Target page, we will be doing Moving Target B-Side Podcast, which will be on our YouTube page. So make sure you go subscribe and get more content outside of just these Saturday mornings. All right, we're gonna be going real deep, on a whole bunch of stuff. All right, so I want to talk about a legend. All right, a legend that I've been talking about. I don't put too many people up on a pedestal that's out in the entertainment. But this brother for years has been the one I look at and I'm like, yo, like he light skinned like me, he bald headed like me, and he is the #1 media mogul in history that I know of. You know, as far as black. All right, but Byron Allen.
Byron Allen.
You know who Byron Allen is?
I do not.
Byron Allen used to have like these corny shows talking with entertainers when I was a kid.
Yeah.
They would come on like 2 a.m.
Yeah, man. Late night with Byron
Late
Allen.
night with Byron Allen.
2 o'clock I was asleep. That's
Yeah.
what I know.
And I'm gonna tell you, man, I was like, I didn't know he was as big as he is, but Byron Allen owns like so much of he owns media networks. I think he owns HGTV. I think he owns the Weather Channel. And so Byron Allen is actually, he's been doing this for a couple of years, but now the Trump administration got involved. But he is suing Comcast. Now, I don't know if y'all realize how much bread and power you have to have to effectively sue Comcast. And he's suing them. I want to actually take this right from the Grio. Shout out to the Grio for this information. But a case headed to the U.S. Supreme Court that could have a tremendously negative impact on the black community's civil right as it pertains to fair play in contracting and other measures is beginning to capture attention nearly a week after the justice filed in brief in regard to the lawsuit between Entertainment Studios Chairman and CEO Byron Allen and Comcast Corporation. At least one group has reacted, blasting the Trump administration as the case moves forward. Allen is suing Comcast Corporation and Charter Communications over racial discrimination after the cable giant refused to include Entertainment Studios programming on their networks. He cites a violation of the Civil Rights Act of 1866, whose Section 1981 prohibits racial discrimination in contracts. And this is what it specifically says, all right? All persons with the jurisdiction of the United States shall have the same right in every state and territory to make and enforce to make and enforce contracts, to sue, be parties, give evidence, and to the full and equal benefit of all laws and proceedings of the security of persons and property as is enjoyed by white citizens, and shall be subject to like punishment, pains, penalties, taxes, licenses, and exactions of every kind, and to no other. So essentially, what Byron Allen is saying is, look, y'all have everybody part of your corporation, because Comcast owns a whole lot. You know, we really got to dig deep into who owns media. So who he's suing are the people that own media.
Right.
He's going to the top.
Right.
And he's saying, yo, I got 100% black owned media and you don't want me involved? Okay. And they looked at it probably like, man, what's this man gonna do? But a couple years ago, there's a process where you have to actually put it in and they have to rule whether there's a case and whether you even have what you need to do this case.
Mm-hmm.
He had what he needed, and now it's in full swing. I mean, it's been going on for years, so he got the money is long that can battle with Comcast. Never been done before.
Yeah.
And now you got Trump administration coming in saying, look, this is, you know, Comcast is right, Byron Allen's wrong, and they're giving their 2 cents. Trump is giving his 2 cents on going against Byron Allen.
So shout out to Byron Allen. Didn't
Yes,
know
sir.
who you was, bruh. I didn't know who you was when I used to watch the show, man.
bro. He's a legend. 20 years from now, let's smell the roses while he here, all right? Because I don't want him to get taken out, and then later we like, oh man, he was everything. Man, y'all wasn't even thinking about Byron Allen.
Yeah.
Right.
Y'all was more worried about Kodak Black getting locked up than Byron Allen doing this lawsuit. Yeah, man, it's serious though. I'm really excited about it, but I'm also like, man, Trump, you ain't even gotta say a word about this, bro. This ain't got nothing to do with you. But then again, it does. Right?
Agent Orange, yo.
Agent Orange. All right. Something else I saw was Don Grundman. He is. Let me see. So he was at the Modesto City Council. I'm trying to see where he exactly is from. But he is a politician who is he's an event organizer actually, and he's trying to put together a straight pride parade. And he's getting a lot of flack for it, like being called racist, being called, you know, all types of
Gender
things.
racist and all these kind of things.
What do you think about that?
I mean, why not? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Why not, man? It's all other kind of parades, and you got pride parades and this, that, and the third.
Right.
Why not? Why can't we have a straight parade? I mean, hey.
Spencer, you're questioning that? You're like, I don't know, bro.
I kind of it's like basically like the all lives matter in a sense, because there was no straight pride parade unless they were the pride parade at first. So I feel like it's kind of a slap to the face for them. I feel like our culture, like heterosexual culture, is like prominent in the U.S., so we won't need a parade to like be proud, because it's like basically influenced with
What direction do you feel like it's moving in though? Socially, and everything. What direction do you really feel like the straight is really, it was prominent, but do you really feel like it's still there?
I mean, yeah. I think more people are just comfortable with their sexuality now.
Yeah, because we're still, even if I'm watching the movie and the two dudes kiss, like, I'm still like, oh, okay, that's what's going on here. All right. And so we're still not like, it's not as normal as if we see straight people kiss.
Yeah.
Man, I'm still, I'm seeing it so much anywhere, and then learning, you know, a lot of the quote unquote powers that be are in that realm of that, and learning that they
You mean like they're gay?
Yeah, they're the true
In that realm
takeover.
that you don't want to say it.
Well, I'm just saying, yeah, man.
That
gay,
just
man.
goes to show you how much
Listen,
we're not ready.
Yo, but look, skulls. Everybody knows skulls and bones.
Yeah.
We know the games that they play down there, peeing on each other. We know what some of the mayonnaise used to do and all kind of things.
I didn't know
So-
that specific thing.
Oh
but-
no, yeah,
had no
well,
idea
yeah.
about
This,
this.
yo, look it up. Yo, look it up, man.
I don't,
This was part
but I
of
know
their
they doing some
rituals.
stuff.
This was part of their ritual and part of their practices, man. Yeah, this is what they would do.
Doing that on
Literally.
each other?
Listen, it's a pit.
Well,
This is
let's not do that.
All
Let's
right.
not- yeah.
It's right at Yale. Right
Okay.
at Yale, right down the block, right at Yale.
Yeah.
Let's get it in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I think what there should be. This is just me personally. I do feel like men need to have a parade, alpha
I can see
male
that.
I can
parade.
say
Okay,
that's a-
okay. That means the women better have a parade too.
That's
Women
it.
have a
That's
parade.
it,
What
yeah.
parade? I haven't seen
The
one.
one that the march that women
Oh, the white
women's-
ladies parade.
but that was still in
Nah.
it was still promoted.
Wait,
It was still promoted. But here's the thing: if we had a male parade, specifically black men,
Yeah.
how powerful would it be if the response to that from black women was, "Oh yeah, we're gonna walk with you"?
Fact.
Yeah, like with the Million Man March. It's
Million-
similar to me. All the black men came together, and there were some of us women who I didn't go, but I was watching TV supporting it every step of the way because I know my son was in it.
I feel like the intention of the Million Man March still was like, let's come together to fight against racism. I feel like it would be a difference if the intention was
Celebrating your manhood, celebrating that. You know,
Yeah.
but you see how most of the response to that is, and my thing is, if women say, "Yo, black women, we want to march," the last thing I'm gonna say is, "Man, I'm gonna be like, yo, how can I help? How can I support? I want to be there because they need to see that." But unfortunately, the moment I mention that, and you're not the only one, Mother Fair, there's a lot of.
But I'm not saying it like, nah. I'm just like, gotta think about that.
Right, there needs to be a thought. Not even a thought for me. Like I would love to show the united front in a march like that, nationwide,
Yeah.
even in our community, where it's not even about us opposing racism or nothing.
It's just about us being men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's just about black women and men being like, yo, we supporting them.
I think some of the blowback, a little bit of the blowback sometimes comes from that, is how this society has been structured for so long with men being dominant and taking advantage of certain things. And so when a lot of women hear that, they automatically think about
Patriarchy.
The patriarchy, exactly.
Yeah,
That's what their mind automatically goes to, like, yo,
why we need that?
You celebrate. You still trying to celebrate the patriarchy and don't understand the thinking that
I'm actually-
we would be saying it today.
Yeah, and I would actually be celebrating the matriarch. The
Absolutely.
matriarchy. You know what I'm saying? That matriarchal view, which is where we really originate from.
Well, how
Absolutely.
about we walking together? How about we
Well, that's-
marching together?
But
That's what I would love to see.
I would love to see that, but I think it speaks louder when you see that whether it's women or men, that there's this support coming from the other side. So if like the focus is on men and then the support is black women, it's like that's the family bond being united, right? Or if it's the focus on black women but men are supporting and we're together, you know what I'm saying?
But like they had like I said, when they had the Million Men March, there were a lot of women, probably many more than I even think, that supported that. It was like, wow, our men standing together, united. That's the feeling I had. I was excited about it.
I was.
But I haven't seen a black woman's march where black women are marching and we have the men supporting us.
That's something that could definitely needs to be put together.
Because
today.
that other women's march really wasn't
It
about
wasn't
No, it
about
wasn't.
black
And we had a
women,
show
you know,
on that.
it wasn't.
But I think the intention behind the marches make a difference. So if it was black women doing a march just to celebrate their blackness,
right.
their beauty, their power, and we are in support of that.
Yes.
And then Million Man March, they didn't do that. It was still Farrakhan still focusing on the oppression that we deal with, and not saying we don't have to, but I would want this march to be just a straight
Just about
celebration
unity.
of black men's power and the beauty. Same with women. And like that type of intention behind the march, and then you got black women and men standing together. it's scary.
I think
It's scary to the whole country.
Oh yeah.
I think that if you do it on one side, you got to do it on the other side
Got to.
equally. So it's like if you do a black man march, you need to have on a separate day a black woman march where we support each other, and then there needs to be a black family march.
Black,
you feel me?
Black family march.
yeah,
Let's
black
do that.
family
Yeah.
march. But even with that, before we do the black family, then we should do the children.
Yeah,
We should
yeah,
get the
exactly,
children.
right.
Yo, we can do 4 marches a year, 4 parades a
For
year,
real,
man.
no
Create
doubt, bro.
4 parades a year. The
Right.
black man, the black woman, the
And let-
black child,
let
and then
each
the
one-
black family at the end, yo.
Each head of that, like if it's the men got to put together that march. The women put together the women
Yes.
march, and we just support it. And then the kids put together the march of what they want to see. And then as a
Right.
family, we come together
together.
and put together the ideas of what we feel is family to create that vibe. You feel me? And
Yeah,
put that frequency
yeah.
out there.
It would be powerful,
man.
bro.
Yeah, man.
Ooh,
And
we
walk
just- we
hood
just
to
saw
hood.
something.
Our tour will be around the hood in New Haven.
Right.
Go from hood to hood through our parade, and then
Right.
and other spots too. I'm not saying like
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
not even
for
people,
us.
and for people, like, they wouldn't even be, if people ask, so what are y'all doing this for? For black family, black love.
Yeah.
Or what is it? Are we talking about oppression or
Nah.
Nah.
Just talking about black love, black family.
Yeah.
Like, we're not
Right.
shouting nothing. We don't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We with each other. We celebrating each
Yeah.
other.
Right.
Imagine
Having fun.
men standing up in a row with all the women out there, and we read what we wrote to you,
Right.
dedicating to you,
Right.
celebrating you.
Right.
Oh man.
Right.
That's
Come on,
powerful.
bro.
Right.
That's powerful.
That's what we need to see. Like,
Yeah,
that's the change that the city and the world need to see. Black people celebrating themselves instead of being delegated when to celebrate ourselves. Like February,
Exactly.
we can celebrate ourselves all day, every day, no matter what.
Right.
Or
We
being
had our own holiday.
Or being driven by media
right, and
stories.
being told this is the
Yeah.
parade march for this. Like I consistently say, man, we need to like take perspective on what we celebrate. We celebrate in New Year's in this country, in this system. We celebrate New Year's in the dead of winter.
Right.
The
Right.
earth is dead, and you celebrating the new year, the true
Right.
cycle of life, the true cycle of the earth. New Year should be in spring.
If you think about
the
it, though,
Life
earth
is coming back.
coming back.
Mhm.
That's a new year. That's
If-
the cycle.
If you
Right.
think about it
Right.
though, I don't really grow until I go through the winter. Like I'm talking about if I'm gonna go through my personal life, I don't grow until I go through the cold. So, I don't mind celebrating in the time where I see no fruit, no vegetation. You know what I'm saying? Because this is where the training ground is. This is where I'm
Right.
building. This
Right.
is where I'm hibernating.
Right.
I respect
Because
that.
when it comes out and it starts getting summer,
But that's
everybody out.
no, but
But
that's still when it starts getting when
Yeah,
spring
yeah.
is coming back in.
That's when you start to
That's when you start seeing the fruits of that war that you went through.
I know. I'm
Yeah.
just celebrating that war in the time of.
Of the
That,
war.
I'm just
Right.
looking at it from
Right,
a
right,
philosophical
right.
perspective.
Right,
Like
right.
I'm looking at it at
Right.
a time of like, yo, this is the darkest time of my life right now, but this is the best time because this is where I grow.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but let's do that as well. Celebrate this new year in
Yeah.
spring and start putting together our own thing. This is
Yeah.
part of taking money, putting money back into
Into
us.
our community.
Yeah.
Forming our own thing. Let's create our own Valentine's Day, quote unquote, type of
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
But put our spin on it to celebrate us and how we gonna do
Right.
it.
Let's
And-
start with these black family parades. Man.
Yeah,
Love it.
Yeah, man.
y'all.
So we could bypass the straight parade. I'm good on the straight parade too. I don't think that's necessary.
Yeah, it's
I think that's an old
I
dude
think-
that's just
yeah.
upset.
I think we definitely came
I
up
mean,
with
I'm just
something
not
better.
against it. I'm not
Yeah.
against it. I wouldn't bash it.
Yeah, I'm not
against
bashing
it.
it.
And I
I
wouldn't
just feel
bash
like
it. You know what I mean?
We just literally put something together that's more effective to the problem that we're trying to hit.
It's
Absolutely.
not nothing I'm going to dust off the Wiley's for and say I gotta
Yeah.
go to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think
we-
I think that's all about somebody's feeling like they're losing something.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a
And it's
reaction
not.
just off of that pride parade.
Yeah.
So.
Right,
The same
right,
reason
right.
white people resent black people because they feel they losing something.
Is he questioning?
Yeah.
Maybe he's questioning sexuality.
Oh, a lot of them
I need
are,
a straight
man.
parade.
A lot of them are.
I need a
It's
straight
gotta be
parade.
really uncomfortable with your sexuality to go to a straight pride parade after a wedding.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't necessarily feel that. I was joking and being facetious, but
I'm
I
talking
don't
about
think
in
it-
response to the pride parade. Just asking.
But who's to say that it's in response to that?
well,
Because
it
it has to be.
be.
Why would you
then.
call it straight pride parade? Like,
There would not be a
Yeah.
pride parade
It
in
wasn't
general.
pride,
if it wasn't.
right,
Right.
right.
Anyway,
That's another
I
topic.
guess.
So, speaking of things going on, I want to introduce our guest. We have the activist, the warrior, the leader Mother Fair in the building.
Queen
What's up,
Mother- Queen Mother
Queen
Fair.
Mother Fair.
Yes, indeed.
It's all love, New Haven. I'm glad to be here.
Glad to have you. And of course, we talked about this brother last week, and we brought him on the show so we can go more deeper into what he's doing. Brother Sincere, what's good, bro?
What up? How y'all doing, people?
Thank you for coming through, man.
Thank you for
Let's
having me.
speak closer to the mic, sir, please.
Yeah.
How y'all doing, New Haven? Thank y'all for having me on the show today.
So, I want to start with you, Mother Fair, because I want to talk about the situation in Philly. And I haven't been able to talk with you about like Maurice Hill, things that have been going on, and I haven't been able to talk with you about stuff that was going on here in New Haven as well. But let's start with the Philly situation. So, do you think there was some foul play going on? I asked just because Maurice Hill in Philadelphia shot 6 cops, right? They said that he had automatic weapons and was just shooting everywhere, and he just shot 6 cops. And I'm like, man, automatic weapons, and you only hit 6 cops. I don't know. I was really expecting when I heard he had automatics and he was shooting them up cops. I really thought somebody was gonna be dead, and it was not a good thing. I thought it was terrible.
Yeah.
But when I learned that they weren't, I think they weren't even shot like with lethal hits either. So
I know when I heard, the first thing I thought about, oh my God, somebody that got pushed up against the wall and they feel like they can't take anymore, and this is the outcome. And I think that's going to start happening because at some point everybody's got to get tired of being oppressed.
yeah,
And I seen like them coming after him about a warrant, and he just, I'm not going back to jail. That's one of the things I heard he said, and so he just lost it.
also he had a warrant.
Yeah, that's what they had to search his house
Okay.
or whatever.
And then he just went off.
Yeah.
And he had all those guns, What do you think about these gun laws, man? Do you think do you think we really need them government to get involved with regulating our guns?
First of all, I think all this talk about toughen up gun laws as soon as a mass shooting is happening, to me it's all a joke because we have how many millions of guns? We have more guns on the street than we have citizens. So now you're going to toughen up gun laws. What does that mean? Going in everybody's house, taking all their guns back? Come on, it's crazy to me.
Right.
Background check, what is that going to do?
Right.
Most of these mass shooters had guns legally.
Yeah.
So what is a background check going to do?
Exactly.
So to me, when I hear this stuff, I say, oh no, here we go with that dumb conversation about background checks again.
What do
And
you
that's not
think
going
could
to
be
change
done?
anything. At this point, it's like all the horses have gotten out the barn. Now we want to try to find a way to bring them back in, and I don't see how that's going to happen. I think the gun laws are intentional. NRA never wanted any gun control until the Black Panthers started arming themselves. That's the only time
Yes.
they've actually wanted
That's
gun laws. And strategically, what America has done, which I'm sure if anybody's paying attention, they know, is that the way they control black people not having guns is saying if you get a felony, then you can no longer own a gun. And so if you felonize so many black people, then you're keeping a whole lot of black people in this country who can't afford to protect themselves if anything happens.
Right.
And so for me, the gun laws was really intentional about how to control us.
Yeah.
It wasn't about protecting anybody but the white people, but it was about how do we control these black people who are now free in our country, especially after all that we've done to them.
Yeah, last week I definitely touched on that, on the fact that the only time they were ever against guns was when Black Panthers were like, oh, we can have them. You know, that was the only
And they
time.
start coming down the courtroom steps with them.
Yeah, and I said a comment that somebody, a couple people had a problem with, which was if you're over 18, go get your gun. You know, and I still say that. But I again, of course there is a mental health aspect, because I also suggested that we need mandatory mental health. Like you don't have a choice. You have to go have this many hours with a therapist, and they have to clear you in order to be able to go. I do agree.
See, I have a problem with that, and my main problem with that is the majority of the therapists again are going to be the oppressors.
Well, no. But remember, we talked about that. But I said you should be able to make your own choice. about who it is you want to be able to have as your therapist. You shouldn't be giving one.
But that's not something that they would ever agree to, because
never.
if they allowing us to make our own choice, they're gonna be like, well, that person there who you choosing to be a therapist is probably somebody that's gonna write you over and say, yeah, he's good, and you really not good. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know. I think about it from the aspect of, we need to put ourselves, all the focus should be on us, as far as us dealing with us, people of color. We have to take ownership and focus of where we are with each other. Get back to the village mindset and start really training each other to whereas we know what we need to do to protect ourselves. We're not out here running around causing mass shootings. I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. It's y'all.
We're not doing mass shootings, no.
But we're killing each other.
And that I think the beginning of that unraveling is when we love ourselves.
Absolutely.
It begins with loving ourselves. Because before I can love you, I gotta love me. And I think that's where we fall really, really short on, loving ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wonder what type of step can we make to make that the call. Like, we made the call, and it's funny because you got Black Lives Matter, right? And you got Black Lives Matter, and you have other white supremacist groups, white nationalists. And who's the guy? George Sorwell? Is that the guy? The real wealthy billionaire that gave Black Lives. But he also gave white nationalist groups a bunch of money too. So the money that he gave, that a lot of these people give these organizations, they put the call out and we all respond. So it's Black Lives Matter, hashtag, and then everybody responds. I wonder what the practical step is for us to now put the call out to do exactly that. You know, somehow begin to make that the step to love ourselves. The step is always to go at this instead of going at ourselves.
We have to find a way to bring not only that, but okay, right? But what is he funding? The mindset of morals has to become a popular thing again. You know what I'm saying? That goes a long way with loving yourself. It's like some of the things we see ourselves doing, you're showing you're not loving yourself, but it's what is popular today. It's what is the thing. It's the mindset of today. So it's normalized. So everybody, you start thinking like, yo, there's nothing the matter with this.
And that's part of the assimilation to white culture.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
The more I always say, the more American we become, the further away we come from Africa, and the values and morals, standards, all of that stuff just out the window.
That's what I had a problem with Jay-Z and the partnership with NFL, was the fact that I felt like it was a message to the world to say, listen, for us to see change, we're going to have to partner. You know what I mean? You were a billionaire. I would really love for Jay to just say, nah, I'm not backing down.
Right.
And as many players as I could take from you, I'm going to take. As much as I can make my own league, I'm going to make my own league. But instead, it was like, nah, we need to come together. We need to partner with them. And it was like, come on, man, you could have sent a message to let it be known. We don't need to assimilate no more.
I didn't even get that message. I just got the message because I guess that's the way I seen it, is that he feels that for us to have some real power is that we have to start owning stuff.
Yeah.
As opposed to letting them own
anything.
Yeah, but I'm figuring that, he's getting his feet in the door.
Yeah,
let us get in.
You know how Jay moves, man.
Just make your own
always
league.
with us. Once we get in, we win.
Yeah, you can make your own league, but you feel me? Why not go into the league, disrupt the league, take the players, then make a league? Because at the end of the day, you got to get to the players. There's a lot of players in there that don't even really feel the movement.
The only thing that kind of makes you question that is how he went about it, even doing it. See, that makes you question his whole intent, his whole agenda, because to me, the way he went about doing it, it's all about that bag, bruh. Remember, that's why I miss the old Kanye.
He a sports agent,
I miss the old Kanye, yo.
That too.
What Kanye, to get money, though.
What Kanye say, man? They made us hate ourselves and love their wealth.
Right.
That's why
they made us hate ourselves, you know what I'm saying, and love their wealth.
And Jay also said, truthfully, I want to rhyme like common sense, but I made $5 million. I ain't been rhyming like common sense.
I ain't got nothing for you. What do you do about that bag?
But he also said, listen, I dumped down for my audience to double my dollars, and they criticized me for it, but they all yell holler. So he's doing it to get this money, but the money that he using, he putting back into us. It ain't just necessarily for him and his.
I do feel like that was the message though that I picked up was that look, we need to partner with them, and I feel like you were in a position to kind of still say you don't need me, you need me, I don't need you.
Yeah.
And I would have loved for that to really be carried out, but you know we gotta wait for the long game. But I don't want to belabor that point. But it just comes to your point, Mother Fair, of assimilation and us being able to understand that we don't necessarily need to go by their agenda or go by what the popular story is.
And get their approval.
Right.
Because I feel too many of us are so concerned about being approved by them that we can't even be ourselves.
We need to be validated.
We gotta approve ourselves. You feel me? Like instead of going to them and asking for money, we need to put money together ourselves. Like it's literally like as simple as that. You feel me? 200 people put $5 in the pot. That's $1,000 a week. It's 100,029 people in New Haven, Connecticut. If 100,000 people put $85 in a pot a month, you feel me? That's $8,500,000 a week. That's 52 million. Woo. That's 51 million in 6 months. That's 102 million in a year. You feel me? That's roughly half a billion.
That's the
in
people
5
that
years.
think big.
Yeah.
We gotta learn how to think big.
Absolutely.
Brother Sincere.
Because they've dumped us down.
Broke that down.
Drop it.
Facts though.
Yes, sir.
Mother Fair. So I see you got some notes.
Oh,
got
yes.
some things written. I want to make sure we touch on everything you got, you know, and we really touch on that. So let me know if there's some areas you want to go to, you want to talk about.
Well, we was thinking and we was talking about also that
the firing of the cop. I thought that was going to be our
ma'am,
topic.
The firing
today.
of the cop. So yes, ma'am. Yeah,
and I still can't breathe. I still can't breathe. And just trying to get all my notes together around this officer Pantaleo is just like it just chokes me up. And I looked at the video again, and I seen the video.
So we're talking about Eric Garner.
Eric Garner. Sorry.
Talking about Eric Garner and the cop and the cop.
I just get so upset about this whole thing around Eric Garner, and I just watched the video and seeing how he said everybody, when the police came, the first thing he said, I'm not doing anything. People around him saying, he's not doing anything, he just broke up a fight. And then he says, why do you have to mess with me? These are things I can feel.
Right.
I feel him.
Right.
Why do you have to mess with me every day? I'm not doing nothing. This is stopping here. White people can't understand that. They feel, oh no, he resisted. He should have just, you get tired of just being oppressed. And I could feel him that day. He was tired. He said, I'm not doing anything. Everybody's around here told you I'm not doing nothing. You just want to mess with me. And then white man had to show he had power. So they all got him. He got him on the ground. You got him in the chokehold. Okay, cuff him, take him to jail. Even though he didn't do anything. But that's it. Should have been the extent of it. If you watch that video, how Pantaleo, I don't even want to give him a name, how that animal crushed his face into the pavement and put all the pressure he could possibly. You could almost see the pressure that he put on that man's face, and he's saying constantly, "I can't breathe," and he did not care.
And the one thing that somebody, there was a sergeant from that police department on Fox News, of course, and what they always say was, Eric Garner, and he's a big guy, and then they go on to other things. I'm like, see, that right there is where you gotta stop, because that's what made you feel like
it was okay to do that.
Yes.
And they always try justification. They said, oh, he was doing his job. The most recent thing that really annoyed me about this, when the commissioner came out and made the statement. First of all, you wait 5 years, played all these games, because you only had 5 years so they could even charge him federally. So they played all these games with, are we going to charge him? No, we're not. State's going to, grand jury, no, they're not going to indict. Justice Department, when Eric Garner was under, they said they were going to bring charges. Then Eric Garner went out, Trump people came in, and then they decided, oh, we're not going to use the agents that were working on the case before, which moved all of those people out because they was pro for charging him. So they put their own people in, and William Barr in the end, the Attorney General under Trump, decided we're not charging. And then the commissioner says, I had it was difficult coming to this decision, and I was sitting there.
How is it difficult?
So not only is how is it difficult, but I'm thinking, right, if this action was something that deemed you being fired for, shouldn't that then automatically come with charges? Because if you was fired, if this is an offense that you was fired
because
for,
their defense, what they're saying, police, is that he did what he was supposed to do. However, the force was so excessive that he was murdered, but he didn't do. It wasn't a murder because
It wasn't intentional.
it wasn't intentional.
I don't know what he was intending.
And we did police procedure. He just failed at completing the police procedure successfully. Now you're fired.
but they even said the chokehold was not was illegal. The chokehold, that's a chokehold that you're not,
Illegal
you're not
procedure,
supposed-
but not intentional murder.
Right. And in the end, you have to remember that the commissioner, when he was giving his little excuses, he said, you know, even though, you know, I'm a former cop and so this is very difficult for me, but this is justice. And but he also said, you know, we all wish Eric Gardner had not resisted. Like,
Oh my God!
Oh,
man, that is a smack in the face.
yes, just want to justify it, even when you're telling us you're giving us justice, which you're not, because 5 years it took to get here. This mother still doesn't have a son. Those kids don't have a dad. Now they got a GoFundMe. All his supporters came up. He done raised over 100-some-thousand. Well, he hasn't. His supporters have raised over $100,000. Got a GoFundMe page because he done lost his job, and they're planning on appealing. It's like, this is madness.
And they're gonna win the appeal.
And the thing
They're
is,
gonna win the appeal.
If we don't stay on top of it, they will.
I think they're gonna win it regardless.
Because he'll lose his pension and everything if they can't.
They're
If
not
the
gonna
appeal
let
is
it happen.
lost.
They're not gonna let that happen.
so I want to talk, like, hit that point. What do we need to do to stay on top of this and do our best to push back against this? What steps need to be taken? Do we need to show up somewhere?
I think it's going to take. For the matter of fact that they even went this far, did that little tiny step. It took that family and supporters being out there steadily saying, "We want justice. We want justice. We want justice."
Okay.
So it's going to take that, but it's going to take a whole lot more, because you got to realize, if you look at the foundation of policing in America in the first place, it was always about protecting property.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we black people were property. So it was about, you know, watching us. It started as slave patrols.
Yeah.
And what has really changed? Nothing has really changed, but they give them a uniform, some policies, try to professionalize. All they've done is professionalize a bunch of thugs that used to run around with white sheets on their heads, and they no longer have to do. They just put on a blue uniform. They develop policies that give them discretion, and when they do things like this, the first thing they say, well, they was within policy.
Yeah.
And then nothing short of looking at these murderers, nothing short of looking at these criminals, these savages, these terrorists, nothing short of looking at them and saying, y'all gotta come up off here. Nothing short of that is going to transform this situation. Nothing short of
we
saying,
wonder why we got a Maurice Hill in Philly.
because they cannot continue to survive and walk around communities and feel protected and have supporters. Again, there's the ultimate price is being paid, and that's your life. The ultimate price is being taken from us, and that's our lives, man.
But we
And
gotta,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
we gotta realize too that, you feel me, like, just like when we come to talk about black people uniting and we say, yo, it's only been 50 years, this, that, and the third, you feel me, we ain't gonna get that much progress done that quick, you feel me, although we are, you feel me, on the flip side, for white people, it's only been 50 years, less than that, 30 years since they last did their most heinous act, and last year they did heinous acts. And when laws got switched, it only been 30 years. So you think they're gonna switch just that quick? They're the same people. They being raised by the same people.
Right.
They ain't nothing different except for the day that we in. And you feel me? As new people out here standing on the ground.
And you know what else is different is from way back in the day is now we have not only just descendants of slave owners as police officers, but descendants of slaves of policemen and policewomen now too.
Yeah.
And they still, whether they're black, white, green, whatever, they are working under the doctrine of white supremacy. So what they are doing, even in blackface, is maintaining white supremacy. So there's so much work that has to change for anything to change in America.
Well, I want us to make sure that we stay on top of this Mother Fair. I'm glad that you really I love when you come through because you make the situation that we're dealing with even more present to us, because we can get so caught up in our social medias and you know, power season started, so everybody, you know what I mean, is in that. you know. But really keeping our eyes on what is going on, of the fact that this story, as long as it's been, it's not over. It's still going on. You know what I'm saying? I want to segue real quick to Sincere and what you're doing, because we talked about, when Sheldon was here, we talked about the hot spot. And it was funny because I was working with some young people out in the Ville. Well, actually, I worked with them in a different program, and they said that they wanted to clean up the hot spot. That was like the main thing they wanted to do. You're boycotting it. So talk about your whole, everything, why you got to that, and what you want to do about that.
So what happened was, you feel me, you know, I've been a part of this my whole life, being, you know, being a black person, being a part of the struggle, you feel me, understanding what goes on. I've been understanding since I was younger, but I started taking action around 2016 when I started to realize it more. And I was walking in, it just happened to be me and my girlfriend year anniversary, you feel me. I was walking into hotspot, I was getting off work, you feel me, and what happened was, while I was walking in, I was just about to go get a snack. You know, I rock with hotspot. I'm like, all right, cool, we about to go, you know, do what we normally do. I'm walking in. As I'm walking in the door, you feel me, the cashier behind the desk with the owner sitting right next to him was like, to a brother in the store, he was like, oh, get out of here, you black ass nigger. And I'm like, all right, I'm out.
Go ahead, brother.
He was like, get the F out of here, you black ass nigger.
Yeah.
Wow.
No.
Oh, you black.
Said it again.
Yeah.
He was like, get the F out of here, you black NIG, you know, whatever. You feel me? And what happened was, I'm like, oh no, I can't buy nothing from here now. So I go home, and my girl was in the room chilling. We was about to, cause you know it was our anniversary. We were about to chill, you know, do what we do. So I'm like, yo, babe, I can't front. I can't do this right now. I gotta go back to hotspot and let these people know, man, this ain't going down like this. So I went out there right that same night after I went home, you feel me, and started letting people know this, that, and the third. People started turning away. I went back out there the day after, started letting people know. People started turning away. I went back out there the day after. The third day I went out there, the owner looked at me and he like, yo, I got something for you. So they called the police on me, and I'm out there like, all right, whatever, y'all call the police, do what y'all do. So the police came, you feel me, and he was like, yo, what's going on? I told him what happened, you feel me. He was like, yo, man, you got the constitutional right to protest, so this is how you go about doing it, you feel me. Don't block nobody when you in front of the store, you feel me. Don't be out here causing a nuisance. And if people not listening to you, let them go and do their thing, you feel me. Whoever listens to you, that's the people you want to talk to. So I said, all right, cool, I'm gonna figure out how to go do that. I had already got a little buzz going, so what I was doing was, I didn't go back until July 4th, you feel me? And the reason why I went back on July 4th is because it's Independence Day. And what happened was, I was out there letting them know this, that, and the third. He told me, he tried to give me Arizona or whatever, just to push it over and everything. I told him, listen, man, you can't ask me what to do, you feel me? You gotta ask the community what to do, you feel me? This is bigger than me. It's not just me.
So I want to let everybody know, because we have to wrap up. I apologize. I want to let everybody know that we are going to be out there today.
Yes, sir.
All right, and there's much more that goes on over there. I'm talking about, you know, sisters being pimped out there. You know what I'm saying, and doing things for money.
Right.
It's nasty. Like, there's a lot of reasons why we need that out, and it's a small step to show the power that we have. So thank you, Mother Fair. Thank you, Sincere.
Right.
All right, make sure y'all tune into Electric Drum coming up next with Yusef Shaw, 94.3 WYBC.
Peace.
Right.
Oh my God, I can't believe that hour is gone.
Right.